Okay. Just want to make sure.
We are live.
All right. Thank you, Corey. And thank you all for being here today. We're going to start off with a roll call, and I'm pulling up my list. I'll pass it to Ashley. Ashley, if you want to go ahead and do the roll call of the members. Thank you.
Yes, I can go ahead and do that. Mayor Frank Whitfield.
Here.
Vic Stewart.
Here.
John Giovinazzo. He was unable to attend today, so he's excused. Dennis Carter. He was also unable to attend today. Joy Clickinger.
Here.
Ted Pileski.
This is John Farrell. I'll be sitting in for Ted today.
Okay. And Paul Nashanian.
Here.
Thank you, Ashley. And thank y'all for being here again today. Again, calling this meeting in order, the Tax Incentive Review Council meeting. Thank y'all for being flexible to be willing to do this meeting virtually. And we'll start off with the approval of the minutes from our last meeting last February. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
Second.
Who was that second by? Paul. Paul. So second by Paul. All right. Any discussion?
Call for the question.
All right. Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right. So we're going to go through these enterprise zone agreements, and Ashley's going to facilitate this. So we'll go through. Ashley will provide a staff report on the status of these agreements, and then we'll have some action on each of the items. But prior to her doing that, I asked Ashley, Director Scott, she's the Director of Community Development here in the city, to provide a quick commercial overview of what an enterprise zone agreement is and what a CRA agreement is for those who may be watching this for the first time or participating for the first time. So Director Scott, I'll pass it to you.
Yes, thank you. So the community reinvestment area and the enterprise zone, those are both economic development tools administered by the city. They provide real property tax exemptions for property owners who are investing in real property improvements. There is a job creation component attached to all of these agreements, and the portion of the value of the new real property investment, when that investment is made in conjunction with job creation, will provide a tax exemption based on the terms of the agreement. So in a nutshell, there you go. Are there any questions on that, or?
Oh, that was great. Thank you, Director Scott. So as I mentioned, we'll go through, Director Scott will provide a report on the status of the agreement. We'll give the company a chance to share their remarks, and then we'll move it to the committee to act on it. So we'll start with BASF Corporation. Director Scott.
Yes, so the requirements of the agreement were to construct a new facility at an approximate cost of $10.3 million, retain 134 full-time employees, and hired 20 new full-time employees within 10 years. The facility construction has been completed. The employee retention period, or the employee retention is reported to be at 134. The number of full-time employees as of December 31st, 2020 was reported to be at 149. The annual report was received, the annual fee was paid, the enterprise is in compliance with the agreement.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is there anyone from BASF that would like to make any comments? All right, hearing none, I'd entertain.
No, this is Steve Greer, no comment.
Okay, thank you, Steve, for joining us. Hearing none, I'd like to entertain a motion to continue with the abatement.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Joy. And then any further discussion?
Question.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we have RUFUS Inc. Director Scott.
Yes, so the requirements of the agreement were to acquire a building, add a 480-volt three-phase power truck dock, remodeling of the office space, and add additional machinery. The goal was to hire 4 full-time employees within 10 years. The building has been acquired. The 480-volt three-phase power has been added. The building has been remodeled, and they also added the additional machinery. The total number of full-time employees as of December 31st was reported to be at 8. The annual report has been received. The annual fee has been paid. The enterprise is in compliance with the agreement.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is there anyone from RUF that would like to speak?
Greg Tucholsky, President, Roof US. No comment.
Thank you, Greg, for joining us today. Hearing no other discussion, I'd like to entertain a motion to continue with the abatement.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Any further discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have Duraline. Director Scott.
Yes, they were to construct new extrusion lines at a cost of $1 to $2 million, hire 60 full-time employees within 5 years, retain 118 full-time employees. The abatement is not in effect for this reporting period. The project was still under construction. The company has retained 201 full-time permanent employees at the project site. A total of 83 are new jobs attributed to the agreement. The project investment level as of December 31st was $633,445. The report was received. The annual fee, I did verify with the company that is in the mail. So as long as we receive that check before the March 30th deadline, the enterprise is in compliance.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is there anyone from Duraline that would like to speak? Okay. Hearing no further discussion, I'd entertain a motion to continue with the abatement.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I would possibly
Okay.
recommend making that motion contingent on the receipt of the check by the deadline.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. So I want to make an amendment. I'll entertain a motion to continue with the abatement contingent upon the receipt of payment.
So moved.
Is that good, Mr. Bruni?
Yes, Mayor, that's good. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. So it's been moved by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Joy. Thank you. Any further discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have 2 for Multilink. Director Scott.
Yes, this first one is for 1154 East Broad Street. They were to construct a new 15,000 square foot production warehouse research development facility at a cost of $1.15 to $1.5 million, retain the equivalent of 227 full-time employees, 30 temporary, hire 3 to 10 new employees within 36 months after the commencement of construction, with an anticipated $175,000 of additional annual payroll. And they had a school compensation agreement for 25% of the estimated taxes paid to the Elyria City School District. The abatement is not in effect for this reporting period. The company did report that the project is now complete with an investment level of $3,283,584 in real property and just over $1.5 million in personal property improvements. A total of 230 employees have been retained to date. We did receive their annual report and their annual fee. The enterprise is in compliance with the agreement.
So there's 2 for Multilink. This is just the first one, right? The 1154 East Broad?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone on the line from Multilink that would like to provide any comments?
This is Jennifer Holm. I'm the controller at Multilink, and I have no comments.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Any questions, comments from the panel? If not, I entertain a motion to continue with the abatement for Multilink at 1154 East Broad.
So moved.
By Ms. Joy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Stewart. Any further discussion?
Question?
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, thank you. All right, next one, we'll do Multilink at 1020 East Broad. Director Scott.
The agreement, the requirements were to acquire and renovate a building at a minimum cost of $175,000, hire 3 new permanent full-time employees within 12 months after completion of construction, with an anticipated $81,120 in additional payroll. The abatement is not in effect for this reporting period. The company has reported that the project is no longer under construction. The investment level as of December 31st was $181,755.99 in real property. There are 27 full-time employees at the project site, with 3 of them attributed to date to the agreement. We did receive the annual report, and the annual fee has been paid. The enterprise is in compliance.
Thank you, Director Scott. Jennifer, was there anything you want to mention on this?
Yeah, no comments.
Okay.
Where is this facility at, Mayor or Jennifer?
Yeah, Jennifer, do you want to share where this location is at?
The 1020 East Broad, so it's like by 57 and
It's
East
the corner
Broad.
building, the building that's on the corner there?
Is that the old?
It's the old Napa building.
Yep, gotcha.
That was the
Okay,
Napa.
I kind of figured that's what it was back over and
Yeah.
through. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, that's good. If there's no other discussion, I'd entertain a motion to continue the abatement for Multilink at 1020 East Broad.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Paul. Any further discussion?
Question?
This has been called. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Jennifer and Multilink. Next, we have Amware Distribution at 669 Sugar Lane. Director Scott.
Yes, the requirements of the agreement were to renovate the facility at a minimum cost of $350,000, to hire 5 new full-time employees within 12 months after commencement of construction, with an anticipated $300,000 in annual payroll. To date, we have not received a report, and we have not received the fee. I would recommend a motion to continue the abatement if the report and the annual fee have been received and with what is reported is in compliance with the agreement.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is there someone from Amware on the call?
Yes, Dan Romella, Vice President of Operations.
Hi, Dan. Do you want to reply to the concerns that were voiced around report and annual fee?
Yes, that's correct. We are going to terminate that project right there. We have since still own the building, but there is a new tenant in that building.
Okay. Director Scott, how does that impact our agreement and our work on our end?
If they are requesting to terminate the agreement, I technically have to report that to the state with this annual report and what that recommendation would be. So I would need some type of vote on this today.
And what would the alternative be? If they wanted to continue, I guess it would be a discussion between you and them, but Dan, you're pretty resolute on terminating this and not trying to find an amendment.
That is a correct statement, Mayor. We still own the building, but there is a tenant in that building that has a 10-year lease on it.
Gotcha.
So we would not be looking for any additional abatement there.
That works. That works. Well, I'd like to entertain a motion to, and Eric, I'm gonna need your help on this, to terminate the agreement, the the enterprise agreement with Anwar Distribution for 669 Sugar Lane.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Joy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Stewart. Any other discussion?
Yeah, if I could, Mayor, I don't, if Eric, if you can weigh in on that, is there anything more that, other than what Ashley is asking for, is there additional information that we would need?
No, President Stewart, I don't believe so. You're moving to terminate the agreement at the request of the property owner. Ashley's going to have some paperwork to do with Columbus and possibly with the county auditor's office, but that's going to basically be it. The council ordinance that authorized this agreement authorized, the agreement subject to the terms and conditions contained therein. They haven't been met anyways. So a motion to terminate, this will be passed on to council with the report, but there shouldn't be anything else that that we're going to need to actively partake in other than Ashley's behind the scenes homework.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Call for the question.
Then call, again, the motion to terminate the agreement with Amware Distribution at 669 Sugar Lane. It's been motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It's on the floor, Mayor.
Oh, it's on the floor. I'm sorry. Yeah, Ms. Joy made the motion. Mr. Stewart seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Next, we have Amware Distribution at 1301 Lowell Street. Director Scott.
Yes, the requirements of the agreement were to renovate the facility at a minimum cost of $750,000, to hire 5 new full-time and 20 part-time employees within 12 months, with an anticipated $1.1 million in annual payroll. The abatement is not in effect for this reporting period. The company has reported that the project is no longer under construction. The investment level achieved through December 31st of 2020 was $744,796. There are 25 full-time employees at the project site. I would like to note that with their agreement and with the enterprise zone, a minimum 10% investment level of the total market value had to be made on this project. That investment level was $638,431. As you can see, according to the report, they did exceed that 10% state required minimum. However, our ordinance approving this agreement required a minimum cost of $750,000. So I would recommend that the ordinance and the agreement is amended to correct that minimum investment level to the $638,431.
Thank you, Director Scott. Mr. Bruni.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, Ashley brought this to my attention this morning. We talked through it a little bit. I'm not sure where the disconnect happened between the requirements and the legislation that happened with this particular project. But I think at this point, they met the spirit of the agreement and the requirements of state law. For whatever reason, the legislation council passed was off by about $6,000. So I think the way I would suggest that you ask for a motion, Mayor, would be something along the lines of a motion to continue the abatement contingent on an amendment by council to bring that level of investment down to, what did you say, Ashley, 638,000?
431.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I think that's what you should be looking for.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bruni. Dan from Amware, anything you want to add to the combo?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well,
Thank you.
We got some clarity now in terms of, the work that they did. They met the goals that were required of them of the state. However, on our side, we need to make some amendments. So I would entertain a motion to continue with the abatement contingent on an amendment for the report to be reflective of the investment amount being $638,431 being the minimum investment amount necessary to be in compliance.
Mayor, let's actually, as I think about this, I apologize. Let's do two things. Let's have a motion to recommend to council that the ordinance be amended to reflect the new amount. And then if we can get a passage on that, then a motion to continue the abatement.
Got you. Okay, I like that. All right, so the motion that I'm looking for is for city council to amend their agreement to reflect the minimum investment amount of
Amend the legislation.
in the legislation,
Right.
For $638,431.
Right. Thank you.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Joy. Any further discussion?
Question.
Question been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? So, Mr. Bruni, this next motion is going to be to a motion to approve the continuing of the abatement contingent upon city council's approval. Got you. Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to continue with this abatement contingent upon approval of city council's amendment.
So moved.
Moved. For a second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Thank you. Any further discussion?
Question.
Called. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank y'all. And thank you, Dan. Thank you for helping us navigate this.
Thank you, Mayor.
And us on the screen, we had some, we'll come back to Hydroair. We're gonna go next to KE Elyria and Director Scott.
The requirements of the agreement were to acquire and rehabilitate the facility at a cost of $2.775 million to $5 million, to hire 12 full-time and 1 part-time employee within 23 months after commencement of construction, with an anticipated $510,000 in annual payroll. The abatement is not in effect for this reporting period. The company has reported that the project is completed. The investment level as of December 31st, 2020 is $2.8 million in real property and $800,000 in personal property. The company has employed 14 full-time employees and retained 8 at the project site to date. We have received their report and their annual fee. The enterprise is in compliance.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is there anyone from KE Elyria that would like to make comment?
This is RG McCrugly, the CFO. We're good, thank you.
RG, and thank you for joining the call. Any questions from the committee? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion to continue with the abatement for KE Elyria.
Second.
Paul, he said second immediately. Who's gonna give the motion?
I'll make the motion.
All right, motion by Mr. Stewart, second by Paul. I like that. You ready to roll? Any further discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. All right, and were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you, RG.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have Shops on 57. Director Scott.
The requirements of the agreement were to acquire and renovate the property at a minimum cost of $450,000, to hire 8 new full-time and 25 part-time employees with an anticipated $500,000 in annual payroll. The project is complete. The company reported a project investment level of $800,000 in real property as of December 31st, 2020. To date, there are 11 full-time and 21 part-time employees. All of them have been attributed to the agreement, with $470,000 in annual payroll reported. The report has been received, the annual fee has been paid, the enterprise is in compliance with the agreement to date.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is there anyone on the line from Shops on Ohio? Oh, Shops 157, I'm sorry. All right, any questions from the committee? Hearing none, is there a motion to continue the abatement for Shops 157?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Joy, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Any further discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Next, we have.
Sorry, Mayor.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mayor. This is Mickey, man. I muted myself. Just wanted to let you know I'm the managing partner of Shops on 57. We're all good, and I just want to thank you and Director Scott for your support.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining the call today. Thank you for investing in the city. Next, we have Mindy Rogers Salon. Director Scott.
The requirements of the agreement were to acquire and renovate the property at a minimum cost of $75,000, hire 2 full-time and 1 part-time contract positions with an anticipated $75,000 in annual payroll. The abatement was not in effect for this reporting period. The project is complete. The company reported a project investment of $86,870. There are 2 full-time and 2 part-time contract positions as of December 31st, 2020, with an annual payroll of $87,930.82. The city received the report and the annual fee. The enterprise is in compliance.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is there anyone from Mindy Rogers Salon on the line?
Yes, it's Mindy.
Hey, Mindy, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Any comments you want to share?
No, just thank you guys. I'm trying to understand it all and see when it starts. And
No doubt, no doubt. I'm glad to see. I know the pandemic has really impacted Salon, so I'm glad to know that everything's still rolling along with you. So
it is, and hired a new person, so that was great.
Nice. All right. Any questions from the committee? If not, I'll entertain a motion to continue the abatement for Mindy Rogers Salons.
I'll make the motion.
Oh, second.
Carol, second by Mr. Stewart. Any further discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Mindy.
Thank you.
Next, we have Hydroair and Director Scott.
The requirements of the agreement were to construct a 40,000 to 65,000 square foot light industrial facility at a minimum cost of $11.925 million, hire 34 full-time employees within 60 months after project completion with an anticipated $1.8 million in additional payroll. The abatement is not in effect for this reporting period. The company has reported the construction has not started due to COVID. We did receive their report and their annual fee. The enterprise is still in compliance with the current terms of their agreement. However, an amendment will be necessary to extend their completion date out.
Yep. Thank you, Director Scott. I'm going to come to you in a second, Mr. Bruni. I know, Dawn, you've been working with this group here on this project. I didn't know, Dawn, if you wanted to speak to this, but I know we were looking at a potential extension, looking at December of 2022 as a potential extension date. But Dawn, I'll give you some space to speak to it.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So yes, I do believe there is somebody from Crane on the line to speak today, but as we all know, the pandemic really had a very negative impact on the airline industry and airline travel. So the project that was this project itself is on hold until the airline industry recovers. I do think it is a valuable project that is intended to move forward when the airline, when there's, the economic recovery in the airline industry, and would personally be in support of extending the terms of this agreement.
Is there someone from Crane on the line that would like to speak on this?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Mayor. This is John Hayes. You can hear me okay?
Very well.
Okay, good. Yeah, let me tell everyone what's going on. So obviously with the COVID impact in the airline industry, our sales were off approximately 30% last year, just now starting to recover. Although, that kind of put our existing project on hold at 222 South Abbey. We do need expansion. We do have additional capabilities we need to bring into the building. We approached the city with a different option, which is we're going to expand on our current building by about 10,000 square feet. We've been working with the city to execute a separate agreement for that, which we expect to start construction and complete construction within this year to do that. And that's separate to repair and overhaul facility on the existing building that we have. We anticipate the airline industry recovery will be several years, but we're anticipating that we'll need additional capacity beyond this small footprint sometime in the 2023-2024 time period. And we would still plan to build on that land that we've acquired across the street. So we'll be working with your team to do an amendment to that existing agreement to extend that agreement to that period of time.
Thank you for that, John. So one, I just want to, again, thank you for investing in the city. It's fascinating to hear, you know, one aspect is down, but another aspect is going up. And so we're excited to be a part of that expansion effort that you have going on as well. In terms of the extending this project, what would be a reasonable timeline to request the extension for this project? And then
we certainly had anticipated to start our construction of 222 South Abbey this year. I think we're probably 3 years away, quite honestly, from the need to do that, considering the fact we're adding 10,000 square feet to the existing building. So that's the type of extension we'd be looking for. Now, I will say this, you know, part of what we had talked to you about in the past is there is some opportunity for a product line move from a different location in the country to our facility. That's still under consideration, which could accelerate, you know, the need to do the project at 222 South Abbey. But for right now, I would anticipate, as Dawn has already communicated, we'd be looking for an extension to at least the end of 2022.
Okay. So, okay. I was thinking about if how far out we wanted to extend, but I guess we can always revisit this at the next annual meeting if we need to do a further extension. Mr. Bruni, your thoughts?
I think you're correct, Mayor. You know, the committee can certainly decide how much of an extension it wants to give, but I would suggest that, you know, a year to year revisit of this would not be a problem. You know, I'm sure Mr. Higgs and the company would like more certainty, but I think that's within the discretion of the committee, whether you want to do 1 year now, another year later, 2 years now. I don't necessarily see a problem with that either way. As far as the structure of this, kind of like this, the previous Amware one, I would look to get a motion from the committee to recommend to City Council to amend the ordinance to extend to whatever time period you're looking to do as one motion, and then a second motion to continue the abatement subject to that amendment having passed council.
Thank you, Mr. Bruni. So, and thank you, John. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Director Scott. So I entertain a motion to recommend the City Council to amend the ordinance to extend the abatement to December 31st, 2022.
And Mayor, if I may, Ashley, is that?
Yeah.
It's really a delay in the commencement of construction. Isn't that right, Ashley?
Yeah, so the agreement states that they shall begin construction in May of 2020 with reasonable efforts to substantially complete the project by July 31st of 2021.
So it's a completion date, Ron. It's a completion date.
Yeah.
So the motion does still concur with
yeah. I think that's fine.
Is there a motion?
So I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Mr. Stewart. Any discussion, Mr. Stewart?
Question.
Oh, you didn't have a question? Okay.
No, I didn't. No, I just no. I think doing the year to year is probably in the best interest at this particular time. And then hopefully if this other opportunity that Crane is speaking to, and if that expedites things on a different level, maybe there would be some times to amend it at that time. But I think month to month or year to year would be fine, and it could always be revisited.
But wasn't the motion to the end of 2022 though?
Yes.
Right.
I guess.
Oh,
okay.
2020.
Right.
Excuse my apologies. I thought it was 2021.
Okay.
No, that is I would concur. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, again, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, so that was the first motion recommending the council to make their amendment. The second motion is for us to continue with the abatement contingent upon city council's approval of the amendment. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Any further discussion?
Question.
This has been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you, John.
Thank you for your support.
Next, we have Big O Enterprises. Director Scott.
The requirements were to renovate the property at a cost of no less than $100,000, to hire 2 full-time and 6 part-time employees within 24 months of project completion, with an anticipated $143,520 in annual payroll. The abatement is not in effect for this reporting period. The company did report that the construction has been delayed due to COVID-19, and the enterprise is requesting a 1-year extension for project completion. We did receive the annual report and we did receive the annual fee.
Thank you. And I know our good folks, Cynthia, are on the line. Do you want to, tell us about the project? Because this is a new one. So if you could talk to us about the project and then talk to us about the extension.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. This is John Alexiak, owner of Big O, along with my wife, Cynthia. So, yeah, COVID really stinks. For everything from utilities to you name it has been one delay after another. But we were finally able to pull the contingent permits this past Tuesday. So we're looking forward to having heat on in the building for the first time. We are anticipating opening ice cream / sandwich shop right across from kind of catty corner to the new library. And we just had utilities put in, new gas line, new electric pole set. So all of a sudden, you know, it seems like we've been sitting on our hands for months and months, but all of a sudden everything's starting to roar to life. So we're looking forward to getting moving and anticipate hopefully opening in April, the soft opening. And we are officially soliciting ice cream taster people. So if anybody would volunteer, we'll definitely duly note.
Nice. Yeah, when maybe our next annual meeting will be at your place.
There you go.
So the request is to extend this from this year as the completion date to, or earlier this year, I guess, to now to extend it to December 31st, 2021. Is that still a reasonable timeline for you?
Yes, Ms. Mayor.
Okay. Any questions from the committee? Mr. Bruni, your thoughts?
Thank you, Mayor. Same thing, 2 motions. The first one, recommending to council to extend the completion date through December 31st, 2021. And then assuming that passes, then your second motion again would be to continue the abatement contingent on council's amendment.
Okay, thank you. All right, so first I'll entertain a motion to recommend the city council to amend the current agreement to extend the completion date to December 31st, 2021.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Joy. Who was the second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Any further discussion?
Question.
This has been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. The second motion is to continue with the abatement contingent upon approval of city council, approval of the amendment by city council.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Farrell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Stewart. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you, John and Cynthia. Next, we have VTD, Director Scott.
The requirements of the agreement were to expand the facility at an approximate cost of $490,000, hire 2 full-time employees by December 2024 with an anticipated $85,000 in annual payroll. The abatement is not in effect for this reporting period. The company has reported that the project is complete. The investment level as of December 31st was, I don't know why I don't have that typed in there. I'll get that to you here in a moment. The company has employed an additional 2 full-time employees at the project site to date. The city did receive the check, and we also received the annual report as well. Give me one moment here. I don't know why that's not on there. Okay, so I believe we do have a representative from BTD on the line. I'm not seeing the project investment level achieved through December 31st on the report that was submitted. I don't know how that was overlooked.
Someone from VTD on the line that would like to speak?
Yeah, this is Bob Valaji. I'm the president.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, I don't know why that's blank either. We've got north of 550,000 invested total in the expansion. And we, just to make a note, we do have the additional 2 employees hired, but we actually hired 4 so far. So we're 2 above the 2 we said we were going to get.
Right.
And I can have my secretary forward you that figure that's missing.
Yep.
Yes, please. I would appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob. So, Mr. Bruni, how would you recommend we go about this one?
Thank you, Mayor. I would make the motion to continue the abatement contingent on the receipt of a report reflecting the oral comments made today.
All right, so entertain a motion to continue with the abatement contingent upon the receipt of the report reflecting the comments that were made in terms of compliance.
So moved.
Moved, is there
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Any further discussion?
Question.
This has been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Director Scott.
So we just got through the first round of, so you might want to get a little stretch. You know, we're rounding the second base. All right, now we're going to shift to talk about to go over the annual community reinvestment area agreements that we have. And the first we have on our docket is the Chronicle Telegram, AKA Lorain County Printing and Publishing. Director Scott.
Thank you. While I'm waiting for my computer here.
While you're loading that up, I know some of the folks from the first enterprise zone agreement may be logging off. And again, I just want to thank you all for one, investing in the city of Elyria, being a part of the growth here. And we're here to help. So feel free to reach out if there's any other concerns or opportunities that you'd like to explore with us. We're here as a resource for you. All right, now we'll be shifting over and back to Lorain County Printing and Publishing. Director Scott.
Thank you. The requirements of the agreement were to construct a new facility and to make improvements to an existing office building for a total estimated cost of $5.5 million, and to retain 116 full-time positions until December 31st of 2020. So the company reports having constructed that new facility and making improvements to the existing office space. Over $16.3 million has been expended on this investment. As of December 31st, 2020, the company reports 117 full-time positions. The city received the annual fee as well as the annual report. The company is in compliance.
Thank you, Director Scott. I see Mr. Hudnut is on the line. Would you like to provide some comments?
Yes, sir. You know, we feel that, you know, we put this to good use. We're in a evolving and very challenging industry. And, you know, like everybody else here, operating through some very difficult circumstances. So we feel this certainly makes a difference for us, and we appreciate the support, that we've had along the way.
No doubt. Thank you, Mr. Hudnut. Any questions from the committee? All right, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to continue the abatement.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Joy. Any further discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Next, we have South Mountain Properties. Director Scott.
The requirements of the agreement were to construct a building for a mental health counseling practice at a cost of $550,000, retain 15 full-time and 8 part-time jobs, and create 2 full-time and 3 part-time jobs by December 31st of 2008. The construction was completed at a cost of $658,916. As of December 31st, there are 18 full-time employees retained and an additional 4 new full-time. The company has employed and retained 17 part-time employees. We received the annual report as well as the annual fee. The company is in compliance.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is there anyone from South Mountain Properties on the line?
Yes, Mayor. Dave Zackow here.
Hi, Dave. Would you like to make any comments? How things going?
They're going very well, Mayor. Thank you. This is, I believe, our last year with the abatement, and I wanted to extend my thanks to the city for their generosity, and also to Director Scott and Mr. Nishanian for his assistance over the years in getting my report submitted properly. But thank you very much, and we look forward to continuing to provide mental health services to the community.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you and appreciate the work y'all doing. I'd entertain a motion to continue with the abatement for South Mountain Properties.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Joy. Any further discussion?
Question.
Question been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Next, we have Sunrise Hospitality. Director Scott. This is the Hampton Inn first one. Director Scott.
Yes, the requirements of the agreement were a project investment of $5 million for construction and $1 million for furniture and fixtures. Create 11 full-time and 14 part-time positions by May 31st of 2013 with a minimum annual payroll of $300,000. This agreement did have a payment to the Elyria City School System semi-annually for 50% of the estimated lost taxes. The project was completed at a cost of $5.4 million in real property and $2.2 million in personal property. As of December 31st, there are 18 full-time employees and 10 part-time employees reported with an annual payroll of $359,126. Payment to the schools was verified. The city received the report and the annual fee. The company is in compliance.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is there anyone on the line from Sunrise Hospitality? Any comments you want to make? No. You're muted right now too, or you're not muted, but we couldn't hear you.
Sorry, same old, everything.
There we go. But that's no comment. That's fine. I'd like to entertain a motion to continue the abatement for Sunrise Hospitality, specifically at the Hampton Inn.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Joy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Stewart. Any further discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? Motion carries. Next, we have Sunrise Hospitality, the Courtyard by Marriott. Director Scott.
The requirements of the agreement were to have a project investment of $6.6 million, of which $5.1 million shall be for the construction and $300,000 for improvements to existing buildings and $1.2 million for furniture and fixtures. Create 25 to 30 full-time and part-time positions by June 30th of 2016 with a minimum annual payroll of $300,000. The project is complete. The investment level was $6,872,143. As of December 31st, 2020, there were 12 full-time employees reported with an annual payroll of $351,943. The city did receive the report and the annual fee. The company is in compliance with the terms of their agreement.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is that Akruti? Is there anything you want to share on this?
No. Like with the
Your audio's breaking up on us. It's the AirPods. Yeah, take the AirPods out. A little bit better. Now try it.
Right, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay. I was just saying that due to like COVID, we had a little bit of business definitely slowed down. So a number of employees and trying to retain the jobs was a little bit more difficult this year. But I mean, we did the best we could. We used whatever business we got to help justify, payroll and things like that. So hopefully this year things can be an upward movement for all of us. And, we love being in Elyria. So we just continue to hope to be able to produce as much as we can for the people of the city.
No doubt. And I know we got a meeting coming up. We can kind of look at other opportunities that might be existing that we might be able to support. So appreciate y'all, holding it down until we get out of this thing. And we're looking forward to the light at the end of the tunnel as well.
Same.
Is there any questions from the committee? If not, I'll entertain a motion to continue the abatement with Sunrise Hospitality, specifically at the Courtyard by Marriott.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Farrell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Paul. Is there any further discussion?
Question.
Question been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Next, we have YYF Real Estate. $20. Director Scott.
The requirements of the agreement were to have a project investment of $1,454,699 by August 31st of 2012, to create 6 full-time and 1 part-time employees by August 31st of 2012, with an annual payroll of an estimated $125,000. The company reported the project investment level of $1,464,699. As of December 31st, 2020, there were 6 full-time and 1 part-time employees reported with an annual payroll of $125,000. The city received the annual report and the annual fee. The company is in compliance with the agreement.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is there anybody from Family Dollar on the line or the YYF Real Estate? All right. If not, I'll entertain a motion to continue the abatement.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
A second.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Any further discussion?
Question.
Been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Next, we have Midview Crossings. Director Scott.
The requirements were to renovate existing apartment dwellings for an estimated project investment of just over $5.4 million, with a minimum of 5 full-time employees retained with an annual payroll of $155,566. The renovation has been completed. The investment level as of December 31st was $2,469,902, with 5 full-time employees reported. The city received the annual report and the annual fee. The company is in compliance with the terms of the agreement to date.
Thank you, Director Scott. Is there anyone from Midview Crossing on the line?
I'm on the line, Jessica Schindler, the regional manager.
Hey, Jessica, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Any comments, questions you want to share?
Everything's going great at the site.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Any questions from the committee? All right, hearing none, I'd like to entertain a motion to continue the abatement for Midview Crossing.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Farrell. Is there a second?
Second. Second.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Farrell. Any further discussion?
Question.
The question's been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Jessica. Next, we have cottages at Riverview. One of my favorite, last but not least, Director Scott.
The requirements of the agreement were to develop a 50 to 62 cottage-style units on approximately 9.25 acres of land. The property would include a clubhouse, common green space, and community garden. One full-time job and one part-time position were to be created upon project completion. The company reported a total investment level of $8,102,092 and one full-time and one part-time position. We received their annual report and their annual fee. The company is in compliance with the agreement.
I see Michael's on the line. Michael, you want to provide any comments? How's the project moving along? Are we fully occupied over there?
Hello, Mayor. Yes, we're fully occupied. Every once in a while, we do have, I think right now we have one opening and we're getting ready to turn it. And because of the population, it's often because they passed away. So, but everything else is going great.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, we look forward to chatting with you about some other housing development opportunities in the city. Thank you for the report and thank you, Dr. Scott. I'd like to entertain a motion to continue the abatement for cottages at Riverview.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Farrell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Joy. Any further discussion? Hearing
Question.
none. Question's been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? Thank you. And we'll be in touch, Michael, for sure.
Okay, thanks, Mayor.
Next are CRA residential reviews. There's a big list of those. We're not going to go over those individually. But Director Scott, is there anything you want to speak to on that, or should we just go straight to the motion?
Just real briefly, the Housing Council met in December of 2020, and they reviewed all of the individual properties. The building department, they do go out and conduct physical inspections of each property to make sure they are in compliance with city ordinances. All of the properties were in compliance, and the Housing Council did make a motion to recommend to the Turk to continue all residential abatements.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Director Scott. I'd entertain a motion to continue with the residential abatements.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Any further discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And were there any abstentions? Okay, is there anything else for the good of the order?
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
All right, it's been a motion to adjourn by Mr. Stewart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Joy. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right, thank y'all. Thank y'all for spending. We're 1 minute over, but we did great. Thank y'all.